Hi everyone, welcome back. So, this might be your third time here. If it's not, if you're new, please go and check out my other videos. I hope that you enjoy. So, today's practice is going to be a self love flow, and we're going to get straight into it. We're going to come down into child's pose, taking the knees nice and wide, bringing the toes together to touch, bringing the palms out in front of you, and then just placing the forehead down onto the mat. And then just slowly melting down into the mat, connecting to your breath. We're going to stay here for a few moments, so just really thinking about connecting with yourself. And just beginning to observe. So, observing any thoughts that might be popping in, which is totally normal. At the beginning of our yoga practice, we might have just come from being really busy or being at work. So our minds can be quite full. So we'll just bring all of our awareness and focus to our breath whilst being the observer of our minds. Breathing in slowly and then breathing out slowly. Perhaps seeing if you can make your inhales the same length as your exhale. Equal breathing. And I just want you to take this time for yourself. This is a huge act of self-love, even just by stepping onto your mat today. So often we run around doing lots of other things for other people. So I just want you to acknowledge yourself now for giving yourself this time for you to practice yoga today. And just keep going with that breathing. Just noticing if with every out breath you can just clear the mind a little bit more. And there's nowhere else to be right now other than here with yourself. So just be gentle with yourself today. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself the love that you deserve. Just going to take one more deep breath in here. And then as you exhale, just slowly start to lift the head. We're going to walk the hands over to the left side and then place the forehead back down onto your mat. Feel that nice stretch, that nice opening in the right side of the body. Inhale into that space that you're creating. And then slowly exhale, we'll walk our hands back through center and over to the right side. Bring the forehead down. Make sure that that left shoulder is sinking down and then feel that opening, that stretch in the left side body. Inhale, breathe into that space. And then exhale as you let the breath go, guide the hands back to the center. And we'll gently walk our hands all the way up. Just, oops, I've got a really sticky mat because I've got quite sweaty legs. So just walking the hands behind you. Fingertips facing forward. We're going to inhale, lift the chest, open that heart space, and if it feels okay in the neck, you can drop the head back. Feel that stretch all along the front of the arms. Draw the shoulder blades in, open the front body. 3, 2, and 1. Gently come back to center. And then we're just going to take our feet wide and bring the sit bones down to the mat. So we're coming into our Virasana, our hero pose. So we've got an internal rotation of the hips. You can either stay here. This might feel quite intense for some of you. If you need a block, you can place it underneath the sit bones. If this is comfortable for you, you can always come down onto the forearms, opening that chest, opening that heart center, or perhaps even coming down onto your back into that full hero pose. It doesn't matter where you're at. You just want to do what feels best for you. Maybe taking the arms up above the head if you are in that full Virasana. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths. So we'll inhale and exhale slowly. Inhale. Slowly breathing out. And I want you to just imagine yourself as your own hero today. Being your own hero of your life. Because that is what you are. Giving yourself this gift of self-love today in your yoga practice. Taking one more breath, inhale. And wherever you're at, just gently guiding your way back up into that kneeling position. And then we're just going to take our hands forward, come into a tabletop position, take a couple of rounds of cat-cow to warm up the spine. So knees are hip width distance apart, placing the hands down underneath the shoulders. We'll inhale, drop the belly, lift the head. Exhale, round the spine, moving all the way from the tailbone. Push the mat away from you. 2 more, inhale. Exhale as you round through into your cat pose. And we'll go for 1 more. Inhale, come all the way up, lift the head, lift the tailbone, cow pose. And then exhale, we'll round. Remembering to stay connected to the breath. Come back into your neutral tabletop position. I'm just going to move back a bit so I'm properly on the mat. And then we're going to take our hands forward just a little bit further, making sure that the knees and the hips are stacked. We're coming into our puppy pose. So it's a nice deep stretch for the upper back. If it feels too uncomfortable to have the chin down to the mat, you can place your forehead down. Otherwise, placing the chin down to the mat and gazing forward will hold it here. For 3, 2, and then 1. Pulling the body forward, we'll end up in our Sphinx pose. So hands are parallel, fingertips spread nice and wide. We're lifting up, imagining that there's a piece of string coming all the way from the top of the head, the crown of the head. Feet are about hip width distance apart here, and you'll feel this stretch in the upper, middle, and lower back. Hold it here. 3, and 2, and then 1. Gently release the chest all the way down to the mat, and we're going to come into our broken wing. So making a kind of cactus shape with the hands, bringing the right ear down to the mat, place the left hand down, and we're going to roll over onto our right side. So bending the knees. So a nice stretch for the right shoulder, really opening, and the chest. And you can just place your left hand down Or if you want a little bit more of an opening, you can take that left hand and place it on the base of the spine. Now I just want you to really focus on breathing into that space that you're creating. So wherever you feel that in the body, and it might be different for each and every one of us. That's what's amazing about our yoga practice. It's personal to you. So inhale, breathe into that space. And then exhale slowly, breathing all the way out. 2 more. Breath in. And a breath out. It's hilarious because there's a little lizard really close to me. And he's just watching what I'm doing. Take 1 more breath here. The joys of being in Bali. And then gently release, rolling over back down onto the belly. And we'll go for the other side. So taking that left arm, making sure the elbow is just about in line with the shoulder. Bring that left ear down to the mat. And then we'll roll over, bending the knees. Again, the right hand is pressing down into the mat, or if you want a little bit more of an opening, you can draw the shoulder blades together and bring the hand to the base of the spine. Take 3 breaths here. Inhale. Slow exhale. Nourishing the body as you breathe in and out. And then gently you can release and come all the way back down onto the belly. We're going to take our hands underneath the shoulders and then gently peel the chest all the way up. Breathe in, gazing forward. Exhale, come all the way back down. Breath to movement here. Inhale, roll up, baby cobra. Exhale, come down. Once more, inhale, rise. And then exhale, release. We'll take the hands a little bit wider this time, in line with the shoulders. And we're going to inhale, breath to movement, come all the way up. Moving intuitively, take the right shoulder, dip it down towards the mat. Inhale, rise. Exhale, dip that left shoulder down. Inhale, come all the way up. 1 more on each side. Dip that shoulder down. Inhale, rise. And then exhale. Just be gentle with yourself. Gifting yourself this time, this love. And then plant the hands down. Send the hips all the way back. And just come back into child's pose for 1 moment. Observe the breath. Inhale, come all the way back up. And we're going to tuck the toes under, send the hips up and back. And find your downward facing dog. So once again, the feet are hip-width distance apart, fingertips spread nice and wide. Gazing at the big toes, and you can pedal out the feet. Maybe you've got a nice soft bend in the knee. Maybe the heels aren't quite touching, and that's totally fine. You're just working towards this. So no judgment here for where you're at. Just giving yourself love, nourishing your body, and connecting to the breath. Now on your next inhale, we're going to lift that left leg high, 3-legged dog. Knee to nose, exhale. Inhale, lift, 3-legged dog. Knee to nose, exhale. 1 more, inhale. And then exhale, we're going to take that right foot and step it to the outer edge of the right hand. Drop that left knee down. So we've got both hands and foot in one line here, coming into our lizard pose. So inhale, we're going to lift the chest, open that heart, send the heart forward. And then exhale, slowly release that breath. So really working into our hips here. Inhale. Slow exhale. Now, if this is enough for you, then please feel free to stay here. Remembering this is your practice. Be patient with yourself and be kind to yourself. And just be gentle. If you want some more, you can always come down onto the forearms. Just really thinking about letting go, sinking down. And we're going to stay here for 3 breaths. And I want you to really think about cultivating self-love. What else can you do for yourself today as an act of self-love? Take one more breath. And then exhale, come all the way back up. We're going to tuck the back toes under and then walk our hands over to the left side. Bend the left knee, coming into Skandasana. So palms come to the heart center. Maybe you're up on the tiptoes and that's fine. Finding that balance here for 3, 2, 1. Walk the hands over to the right side. Skandasana. 3, 2, and 1. And then plant the hands down. We're going to walk our hands to the front of the mat and set up for our pyramid pose. So just stepping that back foot in slightly. You want both heels in one line. We're going to inhale, lift the chest, lengthen the spine, and then exhale, starting to forward fold, gazing at the big toes. Oh my gosh, there's some really loud banging. I hope the microphone doesn't pick it up. Inhale, rise. Exhale, forward fold. And then bend that front knee, step both feet forward. Feet are hip width distance apart, coming into a forward fold. And you can take opposite elbows and rock from left to right in your ragdoll. So let the head hang heavy here. And you can give it a shake, yes and no. Just let go of anything right now that doesn't need to be there in your mind. Let's shelve it for later. And just try and become really, really present with yourself, with your practice in this moment. Inhale, plant the hands down onto the shins, take a halfway lift. Exhale, take the hands down, step it back. We're going to go for our vinyasa, so come down into your plank position. Slowly lower down, chaturanga. You can always come down onto the knees and then we're going to press into our upward facing dog. And then exhale, rolling over the toes, downward facing dog. We'll flow on the other side. Bring your awareness back to the breath. Inhale slowly. Release the breath gently. One more. Now on your next inhale, lift that left leg high, 3-legged dog. Bring the knee to nose as you exhale. Inhale, rise, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. One more. Inhale. And then exhale, we're going to step that left foot to the outer edge of the left hand, drop the right knee down. Once again, setting up for your lizard pose on the left side. We'll inhale, open the heart, gaze forward. Acknowledging yourself once again, giving yourself this time for your practice, offering yourself the gift of self-love. Again, if this is enough for you, just be gentle with yourself and stay here. Remember that you can always take child's pose at any moment if you need to ease out of the asana. If you want a little bit more, then you can always come down onto the forearms. And then just sink a little bit deeper. Connect to the breath. And give yourself permission here to simply just be. Notice any thoughts that arise that want to creep in to your peripheral, and just let them pass. Just like the clouds in the sky slowly move, our thoughts can do the same. One more inhale. And then exhale, we'll come all the way back up. And then tuck the toes under. Step the left foot back. Come into your plank position. This time drop the knees down, chest and chin. Come all the way up into your upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then taking that left foot forward, right foot back. Lining up the heels, coming into a pyramid pose. So we'll inhale, lift the chest. And then exhale, folding forward. Drawing that left hip back. Gazing at the big toe. Inhale, lift and lengthen the spine. And then exhale. Feel that nice deep stretch in the left hamstring. Step both feet forward. Feet are about hip width distance apart. Come into your forward fold, rock from left to right. And then you want to place the right hand in the center of the mat, just in front of the toes, and generously bend the right knee. Open up to the left side. 3, gaze up to the fingertips. 2, 1, exhale. Lengthen that right leg, bend the left foot. Place the left hand down, open up to the right side. 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, release. So now just make a nice generous bend in the knees. Place the torso on top of the thighs and clasp the hands behind you. Draw the shoulder blades in. And then we're going to slowly rise. Inhale, come all the way up. Drop the head back. And then exhale, forward fold, generously bending the knees. Working into the shoulders. Let the head hang heavy. And then release the hands. Keep the knees bent. We're going straight into our chair pose. So tucking the tailbone under, sucking the belly in, lifting the hands, drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Hold it there. Feel the fire that you're creating in the body. Building the heat in the quads for 3. Remember to breathe through it. 2. And then 1, exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands down, step it back. Come into your plank position. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Ooh. Always the option to take a child's pose if you need that rest, that recovery. Just take what you need. Take 3 breaths here. Final breath in. And then lift that right leg high, 3-legged dog. Step the right foot in between the hands, drop the left knee down, come into your crescent lunge. Lift those arms, gaze forward, sink down through the hip flexor. Put the tailbone under, suck the belly in. And then exhale, plant the hands down. We're setting up for our pigeon pose. So pivot that right foot over to the left side of the mat. And then we're sinking down, sinking our hips down, coming into our pigeon pose. So you want the hips to be level. So just notice if you're kind of rocking over to one side, you can always place a pillow, a block, a book, whatever you've got underneath that right hip. So aligning the hips, gazing forward, hold it here. So we're working our hip flexors, our lower back. We're also really stretching out and releasing the psoas muscle. And then gently walk the hands down. Come onto the forearms, and you can even make a little pillow, a little cushion with the hands. And again, really thinking about letting go in this asana. Trying to just be with your breath, with yourself. We'll stay here for 5 rounds of breath, so quite some time. Allow yourself to really relax, to really sink into this asana and into the mat. Maybe even giving yourself a smile. Just taking one more breath in here. And a slow breath out. Gently guide your way all the way back up. Open the heart space. Shoot that heart forward. Think of something that you are grateful for today. In fact, let's just take a moment to have some gratitude for ourselves, for our bodies, for our wonderful minds that come up with so many ideas, and for our soul. And then plant the hands down. Tuck the left toes under. We're coming back into our downward facing dog. So feel free to pedal out the feet or just take in any other intuitive movement that feels good for you. If you want to come down onto the knees, make some circles, maybe even making some circles with that right leg. Ooh, nice clicks. And then whenever you're ready, meet back in your downward facing dog. I'll just give you a moment here. And then on your next inhale, we'll go for the other side. So lift that left leg high. And then step that left foot in between the hands. Drop the right knee down. Lift those arms. Sinking down through that right hip. Gazing forward. Engaging the core to the tailbone under. 3, 2, 1. Plant both hands down. We'll set up for that pigeon pose on the other side. So just heel toe that left foot over to the right side of the mat. Sink the hips down. Just make sure that those hips are level. And the ankle might draw a little bit closer to that right hip. That's totally fine. Finding the position that works best for you, but just making sure that those hips are nice and level. And if you've got that gap here, you can place something underneath to prop you up. So inhale, gaze forward, open the heart space. Giving and receiving love. And then exhale, you can walk the hands down. And yep, you guessed it, we're going to stay here for a few breaths, 5 rounds of breath. So making that little cushion, that little pillow with the hands. And then really sinking down into this space. Finding that gratitude for yourself, for your body, for your mind, for your heart, for your soul. And if you can just do one thing today, just try to be kind to yourself. Observe the breath. And if the mind begins to wander, just don't worry about it. Just allow it to come back. Once you realize, bring it back to the present moment. Try not to berate yourself. And then just taking one more inhale. And then exhale, we can slowly rise all the way back up. Tuck the toes under. And then we'll meet back in our downward facing dog. And again, taking any movement that feels good for you. Anything at all. This is your practice. And then whenever you're ready, we're all going to drop down onto our knees. Walk the hands back. And yeah, I think we'll do it. We'll go for our camel pose. So just make sure the knees are about hip width distance apart. Bring the hands to the base of the spine, fingertips facing down. Just take a moment to let that energy settle. Bring yourself back to the present moment, to the breath. Begin to inhale, open the chest. So for some of you, this might be enough, and that's totally fine. Just listen to your body, don't force anything that feels uncomfortable. So finding what works for you. If you'd like to go a little bit further, you can take the left hand down to the left heel. Again, maybe this is enough for you. Or if you'd like to go into that full camel pose, you can take both hands down, really pushing the front body, the hips forward, and then even dropping the head all the way back. Really big opening to the front of the body. Remember to breathe. And then just supporting yourself the exact same way that you went in. So supporting that lower back. Coming all the way up gently. And then just sending the hips to the heels. Bring the hands forward and plant the forehead down. Once more, child's pose. Stretching out the back. Inhale. And then just let it go through the mouth. Release. And then gently walk the hands all the way back. I'm going to come down onto our sit bones, placing those feet out in front of you. Just rock the feet from left to right. And then we're going to just, in fact, we'll bring both knees in and give ourselves a nice tight squeeze, a warm embrace. Bring the forehead down to the knees. And just think about how incredible you are. And then gently rise, take the left foot forward. Keep that right knee close to the body. We're going to take that right hand down behind you, lift that left arm up, and then coming into our spinal twist. Elbow meets the knee, creating some tension, and then just gently twisting towards the back of the room. Make sure that left foot is flexed. Inhale as you lift and lengthen the spine, and then exhale as you twist slightly deeper. And then release. Send the right foot out, bring the left foot in towards you. Take that left hand down. Flex the right toes, lift that right hand up and across. Creating that resistance. And then coming into your twist. Hello, little lizard. Inhale, lift and lengthen the spine. Imagine that somebody's got a piece of string coming all the way from the top of the head. And then twisting towards the back of the room. and then gently release. Take both feet out in front of you. We're just going to roll all the way down. Bring the knees into the chest. I'll move down a bit because I think I'm not on camera. Bring the knees to the chest and just rock. Left to right, left to right. Once again, giving yourself a little bit of love, a little bit of TLC. Because you deserve it. And then we're going to take that right foot down. Extend that, extend that left foot. Take the two-piece fingers around the left big toe. And we'll work on extending. So you want to try and keep that left shoulder down to the mat. If you've got a strap here, or a belt, or a dressing gown belt, whatever it is, that comes in really handy. And also your leg doesn't have to be straight, so it might be quite bent. Working with wherever you're at. Hold it here. Really focus on the breath here. So focus on inhaling deeply, exhaling slowly. And then we're going to open up over to the left side. Bring your gaze over to the right. 3, 2, 1. Come all the way back to center. Release the hand. Draw that knee into the body. And then use the right hand to guide that left knee across the body into your twist. Take the left hand out wide and bring your gaze, your drishti, over to the left. Perhaps close down the eyes if that feels good. Or just take a soft gaze. So we're working on realigning our spine, detoxifying our systems. Breathe down into the belly. And then exhale, come back to center. Release that left leg. And then take that right leg, that right foot in towards the body. And take the two-piece fingers around that right big toe. We're going to extend here. Working on bringing that shoulder close. Oof, my hamstrings feel very tight today. So you can have a soft bend in the knee. Maybe you can use a strap, a belt, some form of belt. Inhale. And then again, as you exhale, opening up to the right side, bring your gaze over to the left. Just notice if that left hip wants to kind of roll over. Try and keep the hips down onto the mat. 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way back to center. Bending the knee, draw that knee close to the body. And then use the left hand to guide that knee over to the left side. Take the right hand out, nice and wide. And then gaze over to the right side. Spinal twist. Connect to your breath. And just notice where the mind wants to go when you're not paying attention. See if you can gently guide the mind back to the present moment. And then inhale, come all the way back. And then we'll take both feet out nice and wide. Palms come to either side of the body, closing down your eyes now. As we come into our final resting pose, our Shavasana. I want you to move the shoulders away from the ears. And we'll take 2 cleansing breaths. So we'll inhale all together through the nose. Hold your breath at the top. And then open the mouth, breathe it out, let it go. One more. Inhale. Hold the breath at the top. Open your mouth and sigh the breath out. Exhale. And now finding some stillness. Perhaps just noticing any shifts that may have occurred mentally, physically, or emotionally. Now let the body rest and recalibrate. Now just gently bringing some awareness, some movement back to the body, maybe tapping each fingertip to the thumb, wiggling the toes. You can roll the wrists and the ankles. And taking a full body stretch if that feels good for you. And you can roll over onto your right side. Just take your time as you move. And whenever you're ready, you can press all the way up, coming back into a comfortable seat as we close out the practice today. Bring the hands together to the heart center. Keep your eyes closed. And then once again, I just want you to take a moment here to really acknowledge yourself for offering yourself this time to recharge. And just thinking about one more thing that you can do for yourself today as an act of self-love. Perhaps it's just speaking kind words to yourself or trusting your intuition. Thank you so much for sharing the practice with me. Namaste.